Morning, everybody. And here it is. Here is the reveal. John just showed it on his Sunday stream, and he asked me, "Can I show this?" And I'm like, "It's your artwork, but yes, show it," because him showing this to you guys gives me the ability now to ink it when I do my videos. So these are the trading cards. I did two trading cards. We have two different characters, and I have them where they butt up. So we got the center, and then there's the Liberty Bell in the middle connecting them. But we have Bose, okay, and he's the sidekick. And of course, he's wearing his cape, or like in the colonial times they wore kind of like trench coats, but with cloaks, okay. And he's got like you see all the trim. Here's the thing about this is when him and I were discussing it, he had a specific color in mind. So what I'm doing is let me get the nib out. So what I'm doing is I have these trim, okay? And that trim is on purpose, so that way you have all these darks, but then you'll have the trim will always stand out. So even if you do the character, it'll be a borderline of silhouette, you'll still have the trim, which will also help the colorist with having it. And I'm not going to tell you what the color is, but it's going to be like a straight color. So when I do stippling, I'll be stippling straight up to it, but I won't do any blending. The only place I would do blending is like the inside of the cloak will probably have color. So in here, I'll have a fade of the color, light, medium, dark. Okay, so that's Bose, and then we go over here, and this is the printer's devil. And so we can see him here. I know he looks kind of distorted because of the camera, but no, this is the printer's devil, and the way I have him is uh, because he's the assistant, he gets ink on him all the time. So I have the ink forms a domino, but if you may not see it, but I don't have it where it's a pure domino mask. That's the reason why I've got the ink around his eye here, but it spreads down over the side of his face, and it's up on his forehead, got it down on his chin, and then over here the ink is here and here along the side of his nose, but it's not here. And that is intentional because I want you guys when you see him, especially when you have a close up of his face, that you'll be able to see that it's ink on his face and it's not uh, an actual mask. So I am still contemplating how I'm going to do that so that way I can tone his face, but then put the ink on and it'll be different. So the example I'll give you is what I might do is I'll tone this whole face, and then when I go to do the ink, I'll do it as cross hatching, so that way it's definitely different from how. So you can tell that it's completely different from the rest of the textures to show that it's ink. And then I'm probably going to experiment and take just take a regular take a sheet of paper and like take like a cotton ball and practice with ink to see how can I maybe get that spongy inky look more in the face. It's going to be different texture. So I'm going to be doing experimenting with different different utensils, whether it be a cotton ball, a sponge, a Q-tip, so that way the ink has that different look and feel, that blotchiness on his face, and I'll and like on his attire. So, and that's the one thing I might not do is I'll just have the ink on his face so like he changes clothes and not have ink blotches all over his sleeves. So now here's where having reference material is essential. Okay, he is almost always going to be wearing a tri-corner hat. Okay, how do you do that? You can't fake it. That's where I'm very fortunate. I own a tri-corner hat. When the Spirit of Halloween was having their clearance sale last year, I went in there. It was called a Buccaneers hat, but they had snaps. So I snapped, or like the two sides in the back, I snapped it, and it formed a tri-corner hat. So that is what I use for reference. So that way, whenever I'm drawing him, I can use that hat as reference, and I'll constantly be taking pictures of of myself, with my head up, angled upward, and my head angled downward, just so that way I can see what the hat looks like. Same thing goes here. Remember when I told you guys that I took my uncle and to uh, the uh, the the Army Heritage Museum, basically at the War College in Carlisle. In the gift shop, they had like a Revolutionary War style cap gun, and I just took a couple pictures of me holding it in different positions. But when I went to draw this, I realized, you know what, I really need that gun. So I'm probably next Saturday going to go buy that gun, or on Saturday morning, and I'll bring it in. I'll show it to you guys. But that way, I will have reference for whatever angle I need. Whether I'm holding it like this way, I'm holding it like this, or even let's say like that, like something weird, like let's say it's weird position like that. I'll have the gun for reference. And what I'm probably going to do also is, like, Miss Stippling has a lot of guns, and I mean a lot of guns. But she doesn't keep them at our place. She keeps them at her father's because that's where she does her hunting, is at her dad's. So I'm thinking because it's really not a hunting season, and I know, she has pretty much a borderline high-powered rifle that she uses when she's hunting deer, but she's got a ton of other guns. I think what I'm going to have her do is I'm going to have her bring home uh, whatever gun she has, whatever rifle she has, I should say. Have her bring home whatever rifle she has that visually looks closest to a Revolutionary Civil War era rifle. Now I know that like those rifles are like this long, whereas the rifles now these days are this long. So it's really going to come down to, okay, just get me the gun rifle that looks closest to that era rifle, because I know she's got. I know her dad. I know her and I know her dad. Even though they maintain them, they've got rifles that he hasn't shot for years. For instance, I know for a fact they have like a crappy Sears and Roebuck rifle, 22. If that's what I get, that's what I get. But at least I'll have then a rifle for the scenes where it requires someone having a rifle. So that way, when I can take a picture of myself holding the rifle, so I can get the angle, perspective, whatever. This is where I understand why, like how like Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee would have like imaginary guns, but they had to have, but specifically like someone like Jim Lee, he had to have started out with something in the beginning before he got so good at doing techie guns. Whether it be a broom handle or something, just so you have the idea of the angles. Remember, he did a lot of work with like the Punisher and whatnot, so he had to know how to draw like an M16 rifle, even though it had a rocket launcher and a starlight scope mounted onto it. He had to know how to draw that stuff, which I'm sure. I mean, any artist that's worth their salt has props, and so I have this prop. I'm going to be buying this prop. Miss Stippling will bring home a third prop. That way I have it. Same thing goes with bows. How he's got the handle of the axe, and see how it bends? Okay? So if I have to, okay, now I could just go straight, just do a straight axe. That's not the way an axe handle works. Axe handle is actually curved. Okay? It's curved to matching the swing of the arm. So if I have to, again, I'll go out to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy an axe. I don't need to buy the whole axe, but I know that both Lowe's and Home Depot sell axe handles. All I need is the handle. That way, if I have, I need. And those are the main things. I mean, this type of clothing, okay, I can look it up online and get enough of an idea. Plus, also, really the clothing, all you're basically doing is you're going to be focused on the pinch the pinching and the push-pull of the cloth. So, and the reason why I have these circles is this is the highlight area. This area, I'm not going to have any dots. Then I will have the light dots. Then we'll have a medium amount of dots. Then you're going to have the dark dots. It's almost pitch black. And then here, we'll be doing it again. No dots, light dots, medium dots, dark. So that's that's the reason why I put these circles throughout it. And if you were to look, okay, at Gary Martin's book, Rush with Destiny, which he does available on his website or through X on his Twitter account. In that book, he has drawings before and afters, and you look at the after and it's like, wow. But then when you look at the pencil stage, you'll see that he does stuff similar to this because he'll draw like a detailed head of Batman, but he knows where the lights are, and he just puts like a circle and then another shape around it, and then another shape, and then he finally have it where he has the X's. Gary does that intentionally, so that way it might look like they have a leprosy with like a skin disease at the pencil stage, but that's all intentional. So that way he doesn't have to, once he starts inking, he doesn't need to look back at whatever reference material he's looking at to figure out where the lights and the mediums and the darks are. He's got it figured out by doing this. And this is one of the things that I learned from Gary Martin with his Brush of Destiny book. So that's the reason why Gary Martin is the inker he is, and none of us are, and the rest of us aren't. So, but okay, so there's that. Now we go back to this page. Okay, so give me a second here, guys. So we've got, you can see where I really did a lot of work on the father. Okay, I didn't put. I think I'm still going to put some dots in here around his face, but all the kids are done. And you can see where I kind of went in here to use the side of my pencil, kind of give an idea. And then here, this is where your highlight's going to be. Then we blend down into the darkness of the rest of it. Same thing, like over here, this area, this corner here is the most completed. This is where I'm going to be doing inking today for you guys, is so you guys can see me finish this. But you really take a look how we really have it. And I want to do one step further for you guys, is I'm going to do some erasing here. Okay, so take a close look at it and see how we've got these pencil lines in here and pencil lines over here. Okay, now we get rid of these pencil lines. Okay. Now take another look at it. Take a look at that now. See, we've gotten rid of a lot of the pencil lines, and you can really see how the dots are really forming that blanket. Okay, and we really get that sense where here's where the highlight is, and then we pull back, and by the time we get down here, it's black. Okay, so why? Because your light source is here. Your light source is here. Then we go to there. So, okay, now we've got that taken care of with exposition and why I do what I do, and we're now 14 minutes in. So, I was going to talk to you guys about the Hershey Con, but I spent way too much time talking to you guys about this, about like the hows I do that, because I wasn't sure when I was thinking about doing the planning of this video. I didn't know if John was going to do what he did during his show, which I'm glad he did, but we have to pull an audible. So, okay, so we've got the highlight here. So I was going to talk about the Hershey Con and going to the Hershey Con and my experience at the Hershey Con. more so than I have in other videos, just because I've been playing catch up so much. I wanted to do a full video about Garden State, but of course that got kiboshed when I got sick. So, but now, so we go in here, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put in a lot of dots that are really fine and small, okay? And then after I've done that, then we're going to go in and put dots over top of it, okay? Because right now I'm just putting the dots in, and then what I'm going to do is after I put in the dots in, I'm going to go in darker dots to pull in close. That way you have a nicer blend. So, but no, I was going to, but not because. And so what I thought I'd do is, I thought we'd do a promo Sunday, and talk about different comics that are crowdfunding. And like John's Long Box, he just launched Heroics Tales #2, and he just launched it on Kickstarter. He said that he needs to earn so much, he needs to raise so much, otherwise it's not, it's a wash. It's not worth it. So he does need some assistance, and so if you could help promo this just by sending the link out, you might have people that you follow that are casual comic book fans, and they know Kickstarter, whereas like Fund My Comic or Indiegogo, they don't really know about them or trust them, but they've been doing Kickstarter for years. Okay, so that's the link that I'm sharing in the description is for John's Heroic Tales #2. And remember, he needs your assistance just like I do. So give me a like, people. Give me a like if you like what I'm saying. Or if you like what I'm doing with the dots. So, and then we go on to uh, Vaughn Coleman. Vaughn Coleman just launched Phenomenova issue #3. I'm hoping for really big things. I'm hoping this is a real like action-packed issue. Issue 1 was a good like origin story. Kid has powers. Kid wants to do the right thing, but he's inexperienced, and he pretty much like kind of all but lucks out in his first mission out solo. The second book is basically is like he's now part of the team, and he's being taught his powers and learning them. Um, I'll be honest with you, I thought that uh, at least half of that book could have been structured differently, so it was more almost like a montage, or just fast forward to like, okay, that's always been my biggest thing with superhero comics, is where they spend so much time with the character learning their powers. It's one of those like, okay, they got powers. They'll learn on the fly, or just fast forward till they figured out their powers. I mean, that you take a look. I mean, as much as I love DP7, okay, I'd say first 10 issues of DP7 are kind of slog because they're on the run and they're kind of learning their powers, but it's not really, other than the fact that they're on the run and they're being chased by the agents of the clinic. It's kind of slog, and it's not till they get back to the clinic that they then really they put the storytelling and everything into overdrive. And I always felt that they just, if if DP7 could have done maybe like 5 issues on the run, and by the 5th issue they're all back at the clinic, fine. Okay, they and again, it just seemed to take fucking forever for something to really to happen. That's the reason, like again, and the reason why I say because really before they blew up Pittsburgh, okay, DP7 was really getting good with all the conflicts going on inside the clinic, and it was like something was happening that the characters never had a chance to relax, even when they got back to the clinic with all the conflicts going on inside the clinic. And we need that. I understand why Vaughn Coleman did that for issue 2. I found it to be a bit of a slog, and I was kind of one of those where it's like, get the action, get the action. And so I'm really hoping that this third issue is just action oriented. It looks like it's going to be because he's got like you have one of the things he has available is, or in this campaign is a a tier where you can get the heroes poster or the villains poster, which I thought was really cool. That way you get a hero poster group. So and also what's nice about John's Longbox and Von Coleman is like John's Longbox, $10. $10 to get Heroic Tales issue number 2. Von Coleman, $15 to get Phenomenova number 3. Okay, and in crowdfunding, that's a pretty nice price for a book. Okay, and what's also even nicer is they're maintaining that price. I know that was one of my biggest pet peeves with crowdfunding. It was here five to $8 to buy the book, and when it's available in the stores or at cons, I'm going to have it available for $3. That really irks me, and it really turned me away from a lot of crowdfunding. But now, with crowdfunding becoming much more prevalent, I like the fact that uh, Von Coleman and John, they're looking at the reality of, hey, this is if I get $10 is much more economical. I don't have the name like Graham Nolan or Andy Smith, so I think it's a good it's a for them it's a good price point to ensure that they get the most amount of people to get the book made. Because you got to keep in mind, with those guys, it's about getting the book made. So that way they can continue to get books made. You don't want to just have a campaign and the book's $25 and you just barely make the money that you need, and then it's like, okay, I'll just uh, put out this book and that's it. I couldn't do it. No. So now the next Graham Nolan, he's got 2 campaigns right now. He got Escape from Monster Island, which is going to be ending this week. He's got his book is $25, and it's Graham Nolan, and it's the third book in the series, and he's consistently provided high quality in his books, and he's got the name recognition to go along with it, so he can charge that $25. He also has the Sunshine State. It's a hardbound book, so it is $50. He also has a coaster set available as an add-on. It's 6 coasters of the 6 characters that he does in his strip. He's at like 17,000. I think he's doing pretty good for a strip book. I'm definitely going to be backing this one. I haven't backed it yet, but I will definitely be backing it. I should back it soon. And then one of the nice things he also has with it is, I think it's the first 300 people who back it, they will get like 5 or 6 signed comics, random comics from his career that he has available at his house. So that's a nice thing to include. So with including in that price point of $50. So and then after that, Mark Martin. Remember, he's doing Snowman 2 on his own. He's not doing it through Ethan Van Sciver. He's doing it on his own, and it's in demand right now. I'm looking at it, and he's done. I think it's like $35 or $39, 39,000. Pretty good actually for going on his own and not really and relying pretty much on the promotion from fans. He's got an entry point of $20 for the book, and then he goes into the other covers, which is uh, 25. So I'm definitely gonna have to get myself. I'm definitely gonna have to back this book too. And then lastly, Andy Smith launched on Friday for Lilnith. I'll tell you something. I'm really now getting excited about this Lilnith book. Okay, He has this. The book itself is $25. He has the black and white version available for $25, and then he's going to have the newsprint version being printed by Pete Samedi, and that is going to be $30. I'll tell you right now, I'm really looking at it. I'm like, I think I can tell you right now, I'm thinking what I probably will get. I will probably get the newsprint version for $30 to read, and then I'll also be getting the black and white version because I will. Andy keeps proving me wrong with these pencils, with his inks. He's really putting a lot into the pencils and in the inks, a lot more than he ever has with anything he did with the mainstream. Uh, it's much more grittier. It's not so slick the way his pencils have been in his throughout his career. The only thing missing from him, in my personal opinion, is I'm starting to see it with the news with how much work he's put into it. His stuff in comic books always had like a pose, slightly modeled or stiff feeling to it, and I'm getting much more with it being because he's going gritty. It's getting a lot more fluid with how he's doing it. So, and then on top of that, not only does he have those available, as an add-on, he has First Man. It's a new First Man book. It's owed to Image Comics, so there's a lot of pockets and over exaggeration of stuff, and all. And it's an 8-page story with you'll get an 8-page story, 8 pages of them inked, and then 8 pages of raw pencils. So, so he's definitely giving you your money. He's definitely giving you your money's worth. It's like a 24-page book, but it's an 8-page story, which 8 times 3, and it's going to be I think it's only $15, which again that falls in line with Von Coleman. So I think like Andy, I like how Andy's doing it, and I'm looking forward to that book also. So because I mean I did like his First Man. I thought it had a lot of potential, and he just stopped. And which you can't really necessarily blame him for stopping because the money just really wasn't there. But I'm liking the fact that he's having it as an add-on, so he can continue the story. So, but okay, guys, we're about a half hour in, so you can really see how I did here, how the folds fall in. So you can see where the fold kind of falls in over this little kid's belly, and then how the folds fall in where his like knees or his feet would be. And that was the entire intention. That was the entire intention was to get that feel of the cloth falling in that area, how it would fall in, just as how it's falling over. This is his shoulder, this is his torso, and this is where his hip would be, and this would be like where his knee would be. So that's the reason why the folds are falling as they are on this boy that's sleeping against his older brother. So, but guys, this video is about done. You can see I'm having making really good progress here. Um, I think I'm going to reach the point where I'm going to continue to try to work on this page just during the videos, and I'm going to work on this one off panel. Okay. Another reason why is because I've got this page done. I've got the trading cards. I need to start working on pencil pages again. Okay, I need to work on to get some pencil pages done. Plus this one here, it's going to take a while, and I'm going to need, like when I'm working on this face here and this face here, I got to be focused on the inking. I can't be distracted by talking to you guys. You damn kids watching my streams, watching this stream, so I can't ink the way I want to ink. Ah! So, you know how it is, guys. Hey, remember, life is stressful. Please, guys, just take it all one dot at a time.